Hi guys, welcome back to the sewing video of our last tutorial on how to make a corset crop top. Now this is the pattern that I've drafted. If you want to learn how to do this, I'm going to drop the link in the comment section for you guys to watch. So I went ahead to cut all the patterns on the fashion fabric and the lining. Now I'm using the same fabric for both lining and the actual fabric. So I've gone ahead to add all the seam allowance, half inch round the cups, half inch round the pattern. Now the pattern, I added sewing allowance of 1 inch to the pattern when I was drafting. Then for the sides, for the dart sides, I added half inch all round. Even the hemline, I added half inches. So we're going to start sewing right now. That is the back, the zip allowance, and also the 1 inch for sewing allowance. I'm just trying to show you guys everything. Now this is the strap that I cut. The strap is cut on fold. When you watch the tutorial, you will know what to do. So I cut 2 of the strap. Now the center front is also cut on fold, so we are going to be joining the center front and the side front together. So you take one of the side front and you place it on the center front dart line and you sew with half inch. Now this is me trying to pin everything so that when I go to sew, I don't have my pattern scattered. So when I pin, I'm going to pin the lining as well. So I'll go ahead and also pin the lining to the side seam to the center front. I'll do that for the other side. So this is how it is. Now for the back, I'm going to pin the back. Now I notch where we are going to be sewing on each other, because sometimes the back tends to look like each other, so you have to notch. That's why you need to notch your zip side, you need to notch your seam, you need to notch the the side where you're going to join to each other, so that everything will be okay for you. You will not have your pattern scattered and you will not go and sew what you're not supposed to sew on each other. So you go ahead and sew with half inch after pinning. So that is the lining parts, and I've gone ahead to also pin them. Now we have those parts sorted out. The next thing is to take the cup. So you place your pattern on your cup. So you take one of the cup. Now the cup also have labeling on the pattern. So you take one of the cup and you place it on the other side of the cup, and you're going to be sewing the parts where you added sewing allowance to. You're going to be sewing with half inch here. Then you take the second one as well and you're going to sew with half an inch. So that is the lining part. Now for the 3-part corset, that is the upper part, we are going to sew the 2 parts first, then before we attach it to the 3 parts. So I'll go ahead and sew everything that I've pinned together. After sewing them, this is it. I've ironed it and I've also sewn. Can you see it? I'm just trying to show you guys everything. Now for the cup, I've gone ahead to also sew the cup, and I ironed, like press the seam open. So now we'll be attaching the upper part to it. So put your pattern, the part that is towards the side seam, know it. The part that is towards the center front, know it. So you're going to place it on each other. Now I notch the center, so that I will know that that center is joining the parts where I sew on the 2-part corset. So you're going to sew with half inch. Now you take the other cup and you also follow your pattern placing. and you're going to also sew with half an inch, because you need to indicate where the center front is and where the side front is. So you also place them on each other and you're going to sew. This part is very important for you. Now that I've pinned everything, we're going to be sewing it now. So I'll go ahead and sew. After sewing, guys, this is it. We've joined the 3-part corset together. Can you see it? So now I'm going to take my cup. Now you can either do your homemade, your ready-made, your homemade cup, or you buy a cup in the market. So I'm going to, this is a cup that I formed using the pattern. I'm going to place it under the fashion fabric. Then I'm going to go ahead and pin. So I'll pin, making sure my center matches the center. Just pin everything around. All your side seam have to match the side seam. Can you see? Then I'll now sew it round. Then after sewing, we're going to be attaching the cup now to our bodies. So the part that is going towards the center front, you have to indicate it. Then I'll go ahead and pin them. Pin them together. I'll go to the upper part and also pin, so that when I'm sewing, I know that everything matches each other. I'll do the same thing for the other cup. Then for the main fabric, I notch all round so that it can give me easy access to sew the cup to it. Then I will also sew the cup to the bodies. Guys, after sewing the cup, this is what it is. Now for those that might want to put an underwire, just fold your seam inside and you sew it round so that you can fix your underwire. But if you don't have underwire, like this tutorial was made on a Sunday, so there was no time for me to go to the market and buy underwire, so I didn't do the underwire. Now for the strap, guys, we're going to be, since the strap is cut on fold, we need to sew the side. So I'm going to sew the side with 0.25, then I would turn it out from under before we attach it to the bodies. Now for the lining part, guys, we are going to be putting our boning on the lining now. So this is me drawing the center line. Then from the center line, I went ahead to draw another line of 2.5 inches on both sides of the center line. Then we have the under bust line. Since we sewed that part, that's the dart line, so that is another line on its own. So from the under bust line, I'm going to be marking 2 inches. I'm going to be marking 2 inches or 3 inches from the under bust line. I'll do the same thing for the other side. Then I'll rule the line. Then towards the upper part where you see my hand touching, I'm going to mark 0.75 to 1 inch is okay. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Then I'll just connect it like an asymmetric line, slant it down. So that is another line for our boning. Then I went ahead to take my region boning. Then before that, I'm going to mark 1/2 inch on the upper part there. Then towards the part that is going to the side seam, I think I went down by 1 inch. Then for the down parts, I mark 0.75 all round. Then I'll go ahead and cut the region boning for it. After cutting those boning, I normally iron my boning so that it will be flat. Then before I sew it on my fabric. So for the back part, so this is me just trying to know if that part is the zip side. Then I'm going to be marking 2.5 inches from the side seam of the back, from the dart line of the back. Then I also mark it to 2.5 inch on both sides. Then I would also mark half inch, because my boning will not get to the upper part. Then I'll go ahead and cut the boning for the two piece of the back. So I also mark 0.75 towards that down part, so that when I'm sewing, that is where my boning will stop. So guys, I've finished cutting the boning for the back. Now we're going to be sewing. So this is a strap that I've sewn, and I've also turned it out. So my strap, I know where it's front, I know where the strap, like the back part. Now this is the boning. I've sewn it on the lining. So we are going to be attaching the strap now to our corset top. So you take your strap and you are going to sew it. Now you can follow your pattern. You can check your pattern to know where your strap is going to be, so that it will give you a guide for where your strap is going to be. Now I pin it together. I'm going to take the back on also. I'm going to turn this up to the back side. Then I would also pin it to the back. So I'm just trying to make sure I am not pinning to the side seam. That is why you have to notch when you are sewing, when you are drafting, or when you are cutting on your actual fabric. So I'll go ahead and pin that one also. So guys, if you've gotten to this part and you've not given me a like, kindly give me a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Now I went ahead to take my lining, and I'll be turning my lining, and both the back and the front lining. So guys, this is it after turning the upper part. Then I take my hemi gum, because if I want to top stitch, I'm going to top stitch on with the hemi gum, so that when I iron, that part will stay, the cup will stay. Then for the side seam, you are going to open it like that, because this is going to be an inseam, that's inner sewing. So you are going to turn it like that, and you are going to place the back on each. Don't make sure your strap is not folded. Then when you place it on it like that, you're going to now sew, because I added 1 inch sewing allowance to this, so I'm going to be sewing with 1 inch. Then I also make sure the neckline side matches with the neckline of the back. Then I'll do the same thing for the other side. Place them on each other. Then you're going to sew with your desired sewing allowance. After sewing, this is how it is. Now look at the inside. That was what I was trying to tell you on how to sew it. So this is it, and we're not going to flip it like the way I'm flipping. You flip yours too like that, and we're going to be sewing the down parts with 1/2 inch. You sew the down part with 1/2 inch. After sewing, then we'll turn it out from the zip side. This is it. I've gone ahead to sew, and I'm also just cutting out that sharp angle, the excess, then giving it a notch, so that when I turn, it will not, it will be okay. So I went ahead to turn it out from the zip side. So guys, after turning, I'm going to give it a good press. Then we're going to fix our zip. Now I would just run a stitch to secure that part down, and I'm going to take my zip and I'm going to fix the zip. So can you see that the tutorial is actually easy? It is not difficult. Now after everything, this is how our corset, 3-part corset top is. So I would open the zip and try and flip it to the right side. So this is how the top is, it is looking very beautiful, very beautiful. Now this tutorial will teach you many things, like there's many things you can do with this tutorial if you don't want to sew a particular style with this, but at least you learn a lot from this tutorial on how to draft a corset, a bustier, so many things. Now guys, thank you guys for watching this tutorial. I'll see you all in my next one. Bye.